Hey guys, today I wanted to talk about breaking bad habits. And I know a lot of you have gone through your life trying to break the same habit over and over again, only to keep failing. And it sucks because obviously we're going to blame ourselves, our lack of willpower. We're going to make excuses. Maybe we didn't have all the right tools or whatever. And the truth is, I want to tell you is, yeah, you do have some responsibility, but actually, after studying the science of habits and everything, maybe the first time you made the choice that you had responsibility, but over time, your brain almost goes into automatic mode, so it's almost impossible to break your habit unless you know the science behind it. So the reason that you're failing isn't it because you don't know how to be isn't because you're not doing the right things or anything like that. The reason is you don't know how to be successful because you were never taught the right way. We're taught to just maybe quit cold turkey and all these other things we're taught, which sometimes works, but a lot of that uses sheer willpower. And when your brain is in automatic mode, it's really hard to break the willpower, especially if you had a really hard day at work or you're just really stressed out, because willpower is almost like a muscle. If you use some of it throughout the day, by the end of the day it really does get hard to keep using your willpower. So I was reading a book and I discovered that there is actually a way where we can break our habits and be successful too. Sorry, my hands in there. We can break our habits and we can be successful. So I want to teach you how you can break your habits and be successful. So this is going to be step-by-step video. You're not going to do it all at once, so you're going to have to keep watching me. So the first thing I want you to do is to identify just one habit. Not like 10 habits, not like 3 habits. A lot of times when people come to me, they want to start exercising more, drink water more, eat vegetables. So that's trying to eat healthy and do all these different things at once. When first you only want to start with one habit you want to break. You have to train your mind first before you try to do everything at once. So pick one habit you want to break. And I want you to write it down on a notebook or something, but don't tell anybody about the habit you're trying to break. See, a lot of our problem is, like for New Year's and stuff, we're supposed to tell people our resolutions, but you are less successful if you tell someone your resolution. The reason is because when you're telling somebody your resolution, you're already receiving the award of that person's approval, or they're so happy for you, when you should wait until you actually achieve your goal that you set out, and then you'll receive the real reward of changing what you wanted to change and people recognizing you. But if you let yourself receive the award early, you are less likely to work hard for it. So you really want to make sure that you don't tell anybody about your habit that you're trying to break or habit you're trying to create. Now this video I'm going to talk about breaking habit. The next video I'll talk about making habit. So the second thing you want to do, and I'm only going to do 2 things today, is you need to identify the cue that triggers your habit or the routine that triggers your habit. So luckily for us, the cue usually only really falls under 5 categories, and so you have to identify which cue is the one that triggers your habit. Okay? So for example, location is sometimes a cue. Maybe you drive past a McDonald's or your favorite fast food place, and just driving past that location cues you to go get your favorite milkshake or whatever it is. So location is sometimes a cue. The next thing that's sometimes a cue is, who are you with? Are you with your brother, your sister, your friends? Sometimes certain people have certain influences on us. So when you have that craving or urge or whatever for your habit, think in your mind, am I around someone? Is that person the person that's pushing me to do this more, like persuading me? Number 3 is the time of day. Morning, evening, but be specific about what time when you have that urge. Is it like 2:45? Some people have the urge to have a smoke right after every meal or whatever. Maybe they're right in the afternoon, right after lunch or something. Whatever it is, time of day can be a trigger. You have to figure out. Number 4, the 4th trigger can also be, what was it? How are you feeling? What is your emotion? Are you happy? Are you sad? Are you angry? Are you depressed? A lot of people, when they're in a certain emotional state, treat themselves differently, and they're triggered to go do that habit that makes them feel better or whatever. Or maybe they're happy, and when you're happy, you have champagne or whatever the heck it is. Notice your emotion at the time of the habit. The last one that's often a trigger for people is, what did you do right before you had the urge? Were you working on a paper? Were you sleeping? What were you doing right before the urge hit? So I want you to identify what habit you want to break, just one. Number 2, I want you to identify the cue or the trigger to your urge. And that's what we're going to work on do it for about the next 5 days. And then I'll post the next video where we can move on. Once we figure out the cue, then we can figure out how to help you. If you can't figure out the cue, you're not going to figure out how to help yourself. So please be mindful of yourself and try to figure out what's going on when this habit is happening. All right? So I really want to help you guys break your habits, and I'm really excited because I've learned a lot of things on how to. So just follow me and check, do what I said, and wait for the next video to come. Thanks, guys.